Negotiation is not only about winning, it is about creating the best outcome for your client and building a good relationship with other agents that are sitting on the other side of the table. Today, I'm sharing some negotiation strategies that I'm using today at my local market that I know it can help you no matter where you're located. And these strategies are helping my clients win with no stress or drama. And before we jump in, make sure you guys are subscribing the page so you get these videos every single week. But here I have a question for you. What is the part of negotiation that you challenge the most right now? Put on the comments below. I would love to hear your experience, what you're facing, and provide some insights. Before you're negotiating anything, you need a plan. And this does not matter if you're a seasoned agent or if you're just getting started. If anything, especially if you're just getting started, this is going to be very critical for you to stand out, show confidence, and share information with your clients. I like to use a simple framework. Make sure you guys are writing this down. It's so simple, but very helpful. First one, set your price right. Know what is your ceiling and also what's your bottom. And this is information that you're going to be picking up as you're doing research about your client's property, knowing all the remodels or any upgrades that they have made. And again, this doesn't matter about only how long you've been in the market, but it's studying the market. It's what is going to help you the most to stand out and show experience to your clients. Number two, use real market data. So you're checking your MLS, you're checking all the information about that neighborhood, what is happening there. I usually like when I'm checking on my MLS because the prices have changed quite a lot. If you've been paying attention on the market, we're not, depending on the time that of the year, so everything changes. I usually start doing my research, what has happened and sold in the last 30 days. Obviously, that's going to depend from area to area, location. Maybe there's not as much going on in that neighborhood. Then I start expanding that. But usually I really like to stay with no more than 90 days. But again, I do a search within 30 days, what has been closed in that area, and obviously all the pending inspection and the active homes. And I definitely narrow down when I first have my search, I make it as narrow as possible to be as close as possible to the property that I'm going to be helping my clients list. So how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, the square footage of the home. So I want to look comparable as close as possible to my client's property. But now, again, some homes not all fit the same, right? So this is where you can make some adjustments and have some ranges just to kind of help out create a story. But again, all based on the data that the market's providing you. So you're not making anything up, you're just showing facts. Number three, present a full package. Your presentation, your communication is going to be key in here. Now you're gathering all this information and how you deliver that to your clients. It does matter. And again, it is okay if you create a presentation. Again, if you're new, I think this is very helpful. So you're not speaking of something that is just inside your head that you're a little bit afraid if you're going to mess it up. So I think a presentation always helps you stay on track, be concise with your communication, and then share that information with the client. You can create a slide, you can make a little PDF, or Word doc, but that is just going to help put all your thoughts before you meet with your client. That's going to show that you prepared, you have your data, and then now you're speaking to it, clearly and providing the facts to your client. And then the last thing, number four, stay focused on the solution. You're there to help your client move away from the emotional sides to what are we trying to accomplish? What is the most important thing for them? Obviously, I get it. Some clients, depending the situation, the background, they might feel super emotionally attached to that house that they have maybe a number in their hat. But your job is to remove all the emotions, not add more to that fire per se with your client. But again, showing the facts, showing the data, having that, conversation with the client, you're going to help them, move them from the emotional states to the solution state. Like, these are the options. What would you prefer? And I think that goes back even with number one, when, knowing what's the ceiling of like the price point for that property and what's the bottom, and then asking the seller if they have a number as well, just to understand where they at. A lot of times sellers might, rely on, hey, you're the expert, tell me what you think. But if you have a seller that has a number in their head, then this is why data is going to help you a lot to ensure that their number makes sense. And here's the thing, when you walk in with a plan, you're calm, you communicate it, and your confidence is there, this is going to make your client feel the same way. Calm, be confident that he knows or she knows what you're talking about. So again, putting all of this together in a concise way is going to help you big time. And here's something that is very critical. And I'm saying this because I get it. I tend to do that as well, but I am very mindful. Talk less and listen more, especially when you have those initial conversations with your seller. It is very important to understand their motivation, why they're selling the home, what is a little bit of the history behind it, understanding and asking questions and just taking notes of what they're saying is going to help you create a better plan for them, as well to understand how you need to communicate with them. And again, it does not have to be complicated, just asking simple questions, such as why they want to sell the home. What is the most thing important to them? Do they need, more time in the house, or maybe they're going to be relocating and they need support, from you as well with that relocation. Anything that you can help them navigate through that process is going to add a big plus in your support with them, and also to make this transaction less stress, less drama. So again, ask simple questions and stand back and take notes. And this is where the deal is making. It's not by talking, by understanding. As you understand better your client, the easiest is going to be for you to put a plan of action for them and get them to, again, from that emotional side to a solution-based outcome, and help them get to say yes so you guys can move on into getting the house ready, and then also having those negotiations, up front, because they will come when you get an offer from other people, right? From other agents bringing their buyers. So all this preparation from beginning to the point of when you're going to negotiate, when an offer comes in, and have those conversations with your seller is going to be like setting the tone. So it's super important. Something that I think is very critical as well, not only when you're representing the seller, but it is building rapport with the other side, the other agent that is representing those buyers. So be responsible, be respectful, create a great communication between that other agent. One of the things that we hear a lot, and maybe it's just me, but maybe you experienced that before if you're representing the buyer, that sometimes that the listing agent doesn't pick up the phone, don't reply to emails, or they just don't get back to you. So what I will suggest is, if you're sending an email, maybe shoot a quick text, just letting them know if you sent the question. There are times, if you never met that agent before, then all your emails could be simply going to just their spam folder, right? So you want to avoid that miscommunication, or just being annoyed thinking they're not replying to you. Maybe they never got it. So building that relationship, it's going to be super critical, because before you know, you might be working with that agent again. So the whole experience, with everybody involved, it's super important. And I think as a listing agent, you are carrying a lot of that to make sure everybody, brings everything to the table together with a good communication. So building that relationship is going to only be helpful especially if more negotiation needs to happen. And then again, even understanding what's going on with that buyer, if there's something that you learn, through the agent, it can help you work with your seller when it comes to the negotiation time. And again, keep just a simple tone and be friendly, just, getting to know that other agent so that you guys can help both of your clients, right? Have a smooth transaction. And the truth is, when the agents like and trust you, this creates a great relationship and also helps them work with their buyer to help your sellers. So this is just a win-win for everybody. Now let's talk about it. You spoke with your clients from the beginning, set the tone, understood their needs. Then now it comes, the home is listed. You've been making rapport with other agents that are coming through the house, either through open houses or visiting the house on a private tour with their buyers. And now you got an offer. So here it's the most important thing, the most exciting one, right? Negotiation is going to start. And how do you present to your seller? This is also very critical. Again, try to remove all the emotions and bring the facts. If there, for some reason, it's a case of multiple offers, make a little spreadsheet, keep everything clean, all the information that you have that is coming from each offer, the terms, the offer price, how many days they need for closing, what are some of the contingencies that one has versus the other, and having that a comparable on the page is going to make a huge difference as well for your seller to understand, because they are overwhelmed, with so many things going on when they're selling a house. So it is your job to make it easy and simple for them to understand what kind of offer they're getting and how to make a decision. In the end of the day, it's always a decision from the seller, but you're there to guide and provide, the options that they have and see what's best for them. That's for them to decide. And again, how you present the offer, it matters. You show your skills of being organized, and how well you're representing the seller. So definitely don't skip that. Don't just send the offer to the client, and hope that they read everything and understand all the terms of that offer. Still put a little cover with, comparing one offer to the other. Even if you only got one offer, I would do the same thing. Just have an email or however the communication is going to be, or if you're meeting in person, but something that is written with all the major things that you need to highlight to your client alongside with the offer. Obviously, you always want to send the offer so that they can review too, but make it easy for them to understand what they're about to read. And one of the biggest things that I've noticed, it's agents is negotiating with fear. Your client can pick up on that, so how you're presenting yourself, presenting the offer, or anything in between that can happen as you're working with the seller is going to either calm them or increase their own anxiety. So if you're anxious, if you're in a place that maybe you also are unsure of something that is going on that deal, I would recommend to speaking with a mentor, a managing broker, the experienced agent within your team, just to kind of get some different perspective. So by the time you go speak with your seller, you are calm, you're showing confidence, you're providing data. Again, I always go back to facts and data. That's going to help you as well remove all the emotions when you're speaking with your seller. And again, to negotiate well, a little thing to remember: create a good communication from the beginning. Build a rapport with other agents. Know your plan. Very important. Again, listen more, talk less. And you're going to build everything with data and support from what the market is telling you, so you can share that information to your clients. Always, always, always act and present yourself very professional, and stay calm even if there is some stress, which we know everything is outside of our control when we're working with so many different pieces. And simple habits will always help you, your client, also the agent on the other end, to keep that transaction going smoothly through the end. And I would love to hear from you. So tell me at least one tip that you heard today on the comments below that you think you can apply in your business today. And then if also you're needing support, would like to have a one-on-one conversation, I would love to get on a call with you. Make sure to book a call with me by just simply going on the link topagentwolfpack.com, and you'll be able to get onto my calendar a time that works for you and for me. And I would love to connect and see how I can help you kind of just get over that hump or that fear to help you close more deals with efficiency and great communication with your clients.